Good day and very warm welcome to this meditation experience. My name is Judy and delighted that you're able to join. Today's a very odd topic. Um, we're calling it Go Forth and Destroy, which just doesn't sound peaceful and soothing and all of these wonderful aspects we usually attribute to spirituality. But in fact, the purpose of a spiritual practice is transformation. So it's not so much about checking out or avoiding or escaping, or even sometimes we say retreating, but actually transforming. And change requires three components. I have to create something new. I have to be able to sustain what is created. And then the interesting one, that means I'm going to have to let go of the old. The old's going to fall apart. So, for example, when I walk into a room that's dark, we don't actually say, somebody destroy the darkness. What we do say is, can someone turn on the light? But what's implied or included in that is destroying the darkness. So we're focusing obviously on the solution. Automatically, we'll have to be prepared that what has been the problem will fall away. So going forward requires a bit of destruction, if you will. Go forth and destroy. And, there's so many, I think anyone who's embarked on a spiritual path has many, many interesting stories about this. For me, it was to land up being around technology. So I don't know how many times I found I would go to the spiritual headquarters of the Brahma Kumaris, which is in Northwest India, Rajasthan, have very powerful experiences there. And then I would come back to the workplace, log on to the computer, and the computer would just break down. And we'd have to phone IT, and they'd come in and they'd start be very confused about fixing it. And I'd always suggest, I think it has something to do with the energy, and they'd just shake their head at me, say, no, no, it's nothing about that. But this feeling that as we change, the old's going to fall away, and to be prepared for that. So starting to explore that on an internal level, sitting comfortably. There's always the invitation to experiment with the eyes open in a natural way. And with just a thought, in just a moment, I bring my mind very much into the present, into the here and now. That interest to explore and more deeply understand myself on the inside naturally brings my attention into focus. And I enter into my inner world, that space behind the forehead, not a physical space, but a very real one of thoughts and memories, ideas, beliefs, dreams, hopes, perspectives, attitudes, all that wonderful invisible stuff that blends together magically and shapes how I experience the outer world. I sit my attention there, inside, and very naturally, as I do that, the activities and pulls of the outer world start to recede. This shift or change on where my attention is. And an interest in going very deeply into my inner world. A process of letting go by focusing deeply inside. Usually my mind is on the surface of my inner world, racing to think about what I have to do, where I have to be, what's going on around me. But I'm shifting gears. I'm interested now just in understanding myself. This instinctive feeling that real change happens on the inside. And as I do, it's as if the usual noise in some ways is being destroyed, released. My inner world becoming more and more simple, calm, slowing down, and clear into focus. I can see the connection between my own thoughts and what I'm feeling. It all happens within me. What is going to inspire that shift or transformation within the cell that will help to finish that peacelessness, that insecurity, that anxiety that sometimes comes? Something within myself, the pull to connect to a very stable anchor within the cell, a source of peace and power, hope and calm within the cell. I can see how I've been attached to very fragile sources of well-being, whether it's the image or the role or the responsibilities or even desires. I want my sense of self and sense of well-being to be grounded in something more stable, powerful, and resilient. That will mean destroying, letting go of my usual sources of well-being. I'm almost feeling like a tortoise withdrawing so deeply inside the cell. A place in my inner world that's so quiet, almost silent, very few thoughts, and no sense of the physical. Even my own presence, my awareness of self is more about qualities and vibration than anything physical. starting to get to the very heart of the self, what is timeless within myself. A surprising and yet powerful, deep sense of calm, of peace. This vibration of the self that's so peaceful, so light, not dependent on anything else, completely independent experience of peace. It is me, it is mine. It is who and what I am at the core. Seeing if I can gently hold that feeling for as long as possible. Just that vibration, that experience of deep peace within. Sending out ripples, waves of peace from my mind through the body into the outer world. I just keep focusing on what feels like an epicenter of peace within the self. An epicenter that doesn't make me shake, but actually makes me very stable and serene. I am aware that the longer I can stay in this very, very sweet state of peace, that epicenter, the more it might be shaking the structures I had built in the rest of my inner world. Old attitudes, old beliefs, old perspectives, all might be quaking as I stay in this epicenter of peace. But in my heart, I know that peace creates peace. Whatever changes are happening in my inner world from this place of peace, they're for the sake of creating more peace within the self and perhaps even in the outer world, shaking all those structures that create peacelessness. How long every day can I stay in this deep center of peace, this epicenter of change? That is my experiment today. Om Shanti.